What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. Kyle is here. Kyle, how are you tonight, my friend?
Doing all right. How about you?
Doing great. Another week,
Yeah.
Another week. Weather is
Another
feeling
Tuesday.
more. Yeah, no, weather is feeling more fall-like. The fall chills in the air. We're only a couple weeks away from Halloween.
True.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So. Just very excited to be back with another episode, as always.
Yeah. Especially, I always feel like October is one of my favorite months just because I love the spooky season. I love
That's right.
watching all the scary movies, and yeah, just great. It's so cool.
Couldn't agree more. Except for the fact of the spooky movies part. I'm not a big spooky
I was about to say, you
movies
don't like
fan,
scary.
horror movies. But I do like Halloween time because all the candy and the decorations and all that good stuff. So nothing wrong with that. But anyway, into tonight's episode, and obviously before we get into the real context of tonight's episode, definitely got to throw out a shout out to our sponsors, Zyman Organizing and Wes Woodson, for their continued support both of our show and Marvel at the Movies and the Sports Blitz. Just big time supporters from pretty much day one for both, and couldn't do without them. So much love to both Wes and Zyman Organizing, and definitely check them out. And the links, as always, will be in the description. So for tonight's episode, like we like to do sometimes, we're just going to take it back to the basics tonight. It's going to be a very basic episode tonight, where we're going to just sort of go through our two sort of segments that we always do on this show, being the Robbie football recap and the Souz reviews, of course. And so I figured I'd sort of kick things off, no pun intended, or maybe pun completely intended, you never know. With the Robbie football recap, this of course being my favorite football teams as well as my fantasy football teams, all in one recap. So I'll start this week with the fantasy. Fantasy, it was kind of a tough week the past week. I lost in two of my three leagues. And one of them actually was my second straight loss, and I'm down to 3-3 in that league. But I did pick up a win in my third league, and now sit in second place at 4-2. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm also 4-2, good for second place in my other league that I lost in this past week as well. So looking to get back on track this coming week. I got a lot of guys on bye weeks this week, so I'm sort of having to do a little lineup reshuffling in each of my leagues.
That's tough, yeah.
Maybe putting out a few waiver claims here and there, all the good stuff. So, but in terms of the favorite football recap, it actually was a pretty good week for my favorite football teams. BC was on a bye week, which actually couldn't have come at a better time because they were coming off a very, very bad loss to Clemson, 31-3, and just was not a good game for them, and they're currently sitting at 2-4 overall, and really trying to find some way to get back on track and maybe make a push at just making a bowl game, which looks to be a very uphill battle at this moment. So we'll see, but they are back in action this coming weekend. They are at Wake Forest, so another tough battle, as Wake Forest, one of the top teams in the ACC currently. So again, we shall see. But on the brighter side of things, in the high school department, Wellesley pulled out another win this week. Their second victory in a row. Actually, it was their third victory in a row. I'm sorry, it was their third victory in a row as they defeated Brookline 42-7.
Cool.
And they scored all 42 points in the first half. And just kind of blew them out from the start. They scored on their first 5 possessions of the game, and like I said, just took it from there. As they now are 4-2 on the year, and they have a test. Not really a test per se, but a road date with Framingham this coming Friday night. So that should be an exciting game as always. Hoping for a 4th straight win for the Raiders. And then the Patriots picked up their second win in a row this past weekend, defeating the Cleveland Browns on the road. Again, Bailey Zappi making his second career start and getting his second career win. He's now 2-0 as the starters. So big ups to Bailey Zappi continuing to play well in place of Mac Jones. And actually just have to really quickly uh, check and remind myself what the Patriots record is currently, because they're 3-3. Oh, so they got back to 500 with that victory on Sunday. So
Nice.
big ups to them, and they are actually going to be playing Monday night. This coming Monday night against the Bears. So it should be a good game, but I think the Patriots have a good chance at pulling out their third straight win. Come Monday night, we shall see. And also,
Cool.
we'll see who the quarterback is. Will Mac Jones make his return finally, or will Bailey Zappi get another start? Remains to be seen. But anyway, that was sort of a run through of Robbie's football recap for the week. Definitely excited to bring that back for tonight's episode. So now, time to toss it over to the man that puts the Souz in the Souz reviews. Sue, sorry, I had to do it. Had to do it. I know that was corny as hell, but it's okay.
No, I love it though. Very
Okay. I did it, and I was like, wait, I really shouldn't be doing this right now. But
Fine. I think
anyway,
it's fine.
Kyle, thank you for patting my ego there a little bit, buddy. I appreciate it. But anyway, speaking of the Souz reviews, it's time for another edition of the Souz reviews. So Kyle, the floor is yours, my friend, and I will not be just looking at my phone the entire time when you're doing this review. Anyway, take it away, my friend.
All right, so as I mentioned earlier, it is the spooky season. So yes, I love to watch just endless horror movies. As this month goes along.
Could not be me.
But yeah, but then again, I like to watch horror movies even when it's not October or Halloween or anything like that. So it's it's pretty cool. So I got the pleasure. You guys will get that joke when of watching Hellraiser, the first and second one. The first one just titled Hellraiser. The second one called Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Just kind of an odd title, but hey, you know what? I gotta say, it was both those movies are from the mind of Clive Barker, who really excels in these in this very kind of grotesque imagery. Like that's what he really does, and he's a writer, and he's done a lot of he's done movies, books, and stuff like that. But he's very he's very out there. Like I like his style though, like because especially in the first movie, I thought the first movie had the stronger story of the two. It was very much about it was about basically this lady and her husband who move into this house, and what happens is they're they there's like weird stuff going on in the house that they move into, and the lady's actually and the guy actually has a daughter, and the lady's actually not even the daughter's like real mother, that's her stepmother. And basically you have to kind of figure out like what's going on in this house. The movie doesn't really give you all the answers. You just kind of see this family move into this house, and just that's where all the weird stuff happens. And you find out actually a lot of the weird stuff that's happening actually has to do with some of the characters, some of the main characters. One in particular that you're going to find out. And you kind of see like just all this string of weird events going on. And yes, the villains of the I guess you could say the supernatural evil of those movies are led by Pinhead. That's his name, Pinhead. He's the guy like with all the little pins sticking out of the head and everything, and he's one of those famous horror movie icons. And but what I really found fascinating about this movie, he's not like a Michael Myers or a Freddy Krueger who just like chases down these teens who just like to hang out in graveyards and have sex and everything like that. Like that's not what he does. Like what happens is a lot of times people like stumble upon these like this box. So this box kind of is sort of like this gate to hell essentially. So they essentially call him, and and unknowingly call him actually. So, and then that's when all the kind of crazy stuff starts to happen. So, there is actually another villain character, but he's actually not the main villain, and that's what I found very fascinating about this movie is that um, it kind of sort of sidesteps that horror trope a little bit and kind of goes for more of a of an unexpected story, I guess, if you will. And I really liked it because a lot of the movie took place in that house, and I thought it felt kind of like it was kind of a good kind of solid classic haunt, like almost like a haunted house movie in some ways. But it just has some really cool images, and it is not for the faint of heart. I will say that because this is Hellraiser, so yeah, you don't want to take your kids to see this one. You know, like so it's if you like horror movies, if you like stories that kind of take a very different kind of more subvertive approach, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really really great. Um, and the second movie, I'm not going to get too much into that. It starts off one of the characters from the first movie ends up in a psychiatric hospital.
Oh.
And that's kind of that's pretty much where the story begins. I didn't think the story in the second one was quite as strong as the first one. There's some kind of like very strange moments that happen and some strange kind of story choices that they did, and I was like, okay, I guess they're gonna go in this direction. But I will say this though, whereas the first movie really mostly took place in the house, this movie actually kind of opens up the scale of this entire world. Like you actually get to see what hell looks like in this movie. And it's really cool. It feels almost kind of like a Lovecraftian style movie. Like if you've seen movies like there's a movie called The Void that kind of came out like not too long ago, like back in 2016. It really embodies that. And I think what this movie, what Hellbound, Hellraiser 2 lacks in story, kind of it really makes up for just the scale and the effects and just like it really like is it's just mind-blowing just what they did with that movie. And seeing this as these movies, they came out like the first Hellraiser was in like 87, the second was in 88, so they came out really close together, which is that's what they did that more often back then with a lot of movies. But it was really unique, and they're two movies that really felt like they're not just kind of your run-of-the-mill like Jason killing teenager type of horror movie. No, that it actually felt like it had a little more gravitas, than past iterations of horror movies. So, no, I really like them. I think you guys should definitely check them out. Hellraiser 1 or Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2. I think those movies are really, really solid. The rest of the series kind of like went off the rails a bit. I think the rest of them kind of became like straight to DVD movies, and the quality really dropped. But I really like I think the first two are definitely should be seen if you're looking to watch some good scary movies. Doug Bradley as Pinhead is so good. He's like very. I just love how cold he is, and like because he's from hell, and
you're as cold as ice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Had to throw that in there.
No, nailed it. And I also like the and the other thing I was gonna mention really quick too is I like the design too of not just the way Pinhead looks, but the way they call them the Cenobites. Those are kind of his like minions that kind of pop up, and they're very like they're very grotesque. Like they have all these like weird like body things like going on. They're basically like these like people that got taken into hell, like, and you'll find out more of them actually. You'll find out more about their backstory actually in the second movie, so it is kind of cool in that sense. But yeah, if you like that stuff, and if you're not too squeamish, like both movies are definitely they can get very disturbing even for the time. I still recommend watching them, so definitely check it out. Hellraiser and Hellbound, Hellraiser 2.
Very good. Well, thank you, Kyle, for that, and I'm sure that both those movies gave him hell.
There you go.
Boom!
Boom.
All right, last pun, I promise. Anyway.
Robbie's the punning man this episode. I like it.
Yeah, let's not make this a regular thing.
No, make it a regular thing, please.
Hey, I learned from the master. But anyway, so thank you, Kyle, as always, and you should definitely, as always, take his advice when it comes to movies, because
sometimes,
he knows his stuff.
I try.
Because I don't. But anyway, so that is going to round out this week's edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. Before we go, however, I did want to say one last thing. I wanted to give a big shout out to our pre-show meal tonight at Bocelli's in Medford. Amazing Italian dinner that Kyle and I had just before
really good
tonight's episode. If you ever have a chance to go there, it's right on Main Street in Medford. It is just delicious. I mean, whatever Italian style cuisine that you enjoy, they have it. I had the shrimp parmesan, which was delicious. The Caesar salad, which was really good. Kyle, I know, what was the dish you had again?
So I got one of the soups there. I feel bad. I already forget the name. It's like an Italian soup, but it had.
It was something like not cacciatore. Something. I feel like it had a C in it somewhere.
I think so. It was
carbonara.
No, that was the pasta.
That was the pasta. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
It was I forget the name of the soup, but it had like these little round.
Oh no, the soup. I think the soup's like last name was like. Fagay, something like
I think you're right. Yeah, I had trouble pronouncing it actually when I was like ordering at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And but no, it's really good. Definitely check it out. And I also I think the main dish I had was the tortellini carbonara. My God, it was so good.
I mean, it looked good, and like I said, the shrimp parmesan was just.
That looked
delicioso.
Like I honestly, and like that's what I like about them too. They have actually a pretty solid like seafood section too. So if you guys like seafood, just go.
I mean, it was, and we didn't even try the pizza, which we're definitely going to try next time.
Oh, hell yeah.
The pizza looked really good from what I was seeing as it went to other tables. So
yeah.
But yeah, definitely Bocelli's in Medford. Definitely just wanted to give them a shout out because
2 thumbs up.
It was
really good.
Double. If I could do like 4 thumbs, I would. It was that good.
It really was.
No, it was. I'm not even just saying that. Like it was delicious as always. Well, actually, it's the first time I'd ever had it, but it was just fantastic. Plain and simple. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to kick the table there. It was so good. I kicked the table just thinking about it.
Robbie's trying to turn the episode into a Cloverfield special.
Seriously.
Really?
Anyway,
there's no giant monster outside. Why would you? Anyway, sorry.
I don't know, but now the screen's got dark. The screen just does not like me after that one. But anyway, that is going to do it for this week's episode of On a Couch Talking Sports. Again, I want to thank Simon Organizing, Wes Woodson, big friends and partners of both this show, Marvel at the Movies, the Sports Blitz, you name it. They are a fan of it and a friend of it. So big shout out to them. Listen, folks. If you liked us, if you liked this show, if you liked this episode, please like and subscribe. Drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. As always, tell your friends, ring the bell, all that good stuff. And of course, you can find us right here on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. So please continue to watch and continue to watch us sit on this couch or on the other couch and talk sports and have a good time, and we will keep making episodes for you because that's what we enjoy doing. So until next time, that's Kyle, I'm Robbie, and this has been another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports, and from the couch we bid you adieu, and we'll see you next time. Bye everybody.